Hello there, and good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever time frame it is to you, you beautiful person. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Let's get started. As you can guess by the title card, today we're going to talk about something that's been on my mind, and that is common decency, or rather, the lack thereof. It's one of those things where there's an expression, I'm sure you guys might have heard it, common sense isn't so common. I kind of feel like that same phrase applies to common decency. And it's something where it kind of blows my mind. I don't know if it's just because I've gotten used to retail expectation. I know that a lot of people who work in retail, and I did it myself, hate their jobs, and they don't like the fact that they have to put on a smile for everyone, especially when they're dealing with demanding idiots. But in this case, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about having a normal conversation with someone and then still wanting to get mad at someone just because you're the idiot. At least, that's what my experience was. So, I have two stories I wanted to tell you guys about common decency, or rather my experiences with it. So, without further ado, let's get into the first one. So, this is the story of when I was selling something online. I had posted up an extra computer parts that I had from upgrading my PC, and I was selling some RAM. And so I listed it on the marketplace. I was like, hey, I got some RAM sticks. I just want $40 for them. It's a pretty good deal. They usually retail brand new for about $70. I didn't feel like I was being too expensive. And I figured, hey, if they don't sell, then I'll just hold on to them and use them in another build someday. So anyway, I end up getting this guy who messages me. And the thing that was actually funny about this is I had seen some of the things that this guy had posted on the marketplace. And I thought, hey, this guy makes sense. He doesn't seem to overcharge. Hopefully he's a pretty cool dude. And anyway, he sits there and he goes, is this available? And then immediately, not but like 20 seconds later, replies with, still have the RAM? 10,000 question marks. And I replied about 2 minutes after that with, yes, it is still available. After that, he waited about 10 minutes before replying, would you go 30? I replied, I'm afraid not. I'm pretty firm on the price as I can always reuse it for another build if it doesn't sell. This whole time, mind you, I'm doing my best to be courteous, and these are actual real texts that the guy had sent, not something made up for the story. He responded with, I can pick them up around noon tomorrow. Where at? Just where at? So I replied with, City Park. Where I live, there's a pretty big park that everyone knows about because it's the city's park. So I said, City Park, and he responds with, City Park, question mark? And I put, yeah, it's a pretty big park. It's, here in the city. And he responds with, never heard of it. So, being the gentleman that I was, I decided to send him some directions on Google. So I actually Googled it, got him the directions. Where all you gotta do is click it, it'll take you to the maps, and give you directions. And then he replies with, Sunrise Cafe, 1234 Westwood Street. Much simpler. And I genuinely was taken aback. I'm like, are you serious? Like, dude, I am not Amazon. This is like a retail store. If you want to buy something, you come to me. I'm not going to drive out to you to sell my stuff. So I replied with, well, I'm pretty busy, so I could do City Park because it's close to me. But if you can't do that, then that's fine. We can cancel the sale. It's not a big deal. And he replies with, I am just as busy as you are, if not more so. If you're not willing to go 1 mile out of your way, then I guess you don't need my business anyway. Good luck then. I just was blown away. I'm like, dude, you are being rude here. And I just replied with, I really don't. And what's funny is I thought that would be the end of it. I'm like, this guy's been rude and everything seems to be pointing that, he would just be like, okay, fine, I'm done with you since you don't want to serve me on Handed Knee. So I was like, okay, fine. But then he actually does message me again later and he's just like, I'm taking time out of my busy day to come down to you. So you can meet me here or you can't get the sale. And I'm like, dude, I am very busy myself. I have a life too. It's not like you're the only one on the planet who's doing things. Anyway, what's funny is he never actually even read my message. He just left it on unread and basically wanted to get the last word in and be a little child. And I was just kind of like, wow, you are really a grown man and you're acting this way? That's crazy. But what's funny is this isn't even the worst story when it comes to common decency, because the next one has a little bit of ties with, well, common decency's fun partner, common sense, because I dealt with a man who was lacking both. What ended up happening was at some point, my dishwasher broke, and being the, shall we say, less than adequate plumber that I am, I decided to call a handyman to come and get the job done for me. Or rather, I took the recommendation of a Home Depot employee on getting a plumber who happened to be a handyman. So I bought the dishwasher. It came in, everything was fine and dandy, and the guy came over and he replaced it. It was actually a smooth transaction. There was nothing bad about his actual service. The problem then came afterwards. So I'm always someone where if someone's there doing something, I genuinely like to talk to them. I like to give them a little company if someone's going to be working in my house. It accomplishes two things. Number one, it makes it that way I don't have to worry about them stealing things, because unfortunately that does actually happen in the real world. And two, it usually just gives me some way to make conversation with people and possibly even make a new friend. But this man decided to do something a little weird. He sits there and he's like, hey, I like you, and you know what? You're a cool guy, so I'm gonna cut you a discount. And I'm like, cool. I love discounts. I'm a cheap person. Let's keep up the discount. Yeah. And then what ends up happening was we had him replace our dishwasher in, what was it? October, early October. And we waited for the bill. I went to pay him after he was done, and he said, oh no, I'm sorry, my wife handles the billing. You'll get an invoice in your email, and then you could just pay it there. And I was like, okay, cool. So anyway, about a week goes by, and I didn't get any information, and I didn't get any bill or email, and so I was like, that's kind of weird. Another week goes by, and this time I get a text from this guy randomly. He just sits there and goes, how's the dishwasher? I'm like, works great, thanks for the service. He's like, no problem. Then I put, hey, just curious, is there any chance I'm going to get the bill soon? And he simply replies with, doubt it. I'm like, wait, what? Doubt it. He seriously told me that he doubts I'll get the bill sometime soon. So I was prepared for this bill to come later, but what I wasn't prepared for was how much later. So I genuinely think that this guy who replaced my dishwasher decided to wait until he needed money, aka Christmas season. So I got the bill, the invoice, hitting me like December 12th or something like that, when he replaced it in October. So yeah, a full 2 months go by with nothing, radio silence, and then, hey, remember that guy who replaced your dishwasher a while back? Yeah, that guy wants his money now. And I'm just like, this is not a bill that I need during Christmas season. Why are you like this, man? Anyway, I'm sure there's a ton of other examples that you guys could give when it comes to the lack of common decency that you've experienced, but I don't know. These ones are ones that just stick in my memory because I find them really bizarre. It was just awkward, both of them. It felt like, you're dealing with children who never really grew up and learned how to behave socially. I don't know. I've seen a grown man throw a temper tantrum, but that's a story for another day. That one was really weird. Anyway, I just hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks for sticking around and watching the video. I hope that you guys enjoy this, and I hope to see you guys again in the next one. Anyway, take care, you lovely people, you whoever you are.